Military expert Konstantin Sivkov on the Air Solovyov Live named 3 components of deterrence of the threat emanating from the West. Sivkov said that the security talks between Russia, the United States and NATO did not lead to any result and called the Western elites dishonest. They understand only one thing: brute force. Military and economic, he added, calling on Russia to demonstrate strength to counter-deter the West. To do this, according to Sivkov, information warfare is necessary, the deployment of groups of troops in response to the buildup of military danger to Russia from NATO and the United States and the creation of such weapons systems, which the West does not have now and which will appear there not soon, if ever. In particular, we can talk about the accelerated adoption of the S-500 and S-550 air defense systems, the launch into mass production of T-14 Armata series tanks, Su-57 aircraft, hypersonic missile systems, and bringing the creation of mega-weapons systems to a logical conclusion, the expert explained. He recalled the Poseidon torpedo and the Sarmat rocket. Sivkov called for more tests of these weapons, as well as the creation of multi-megaton nuclear warheads capable of causing devastating consequences for the enemy. According to Putin, Russia had begun the active testing phase in the development of the Sarmat missile, which was intended to replace the R-36M-2 Voevoda system, inherited from the USSR and manufactured in Ukraine. Putin said that Sarmat's capabilities were much higher than those of its predecessor. The RS-28 Sarmat began development sometime in the 2000s. After awarding production contracts to Makeyev Design Bureau and Bomash in early 2011, Russia concluded research and development of the Sarmat ICBM on July 21, 2011. Russia completed its first prototype of the missile in late 2015. In December 2017, Russia conducted its first silo ejection test of the Sarmat, which reportedly revealed technical deficiencies with the launch system. Two subsequent silo ejection tests, on March and May 2018, were apparently successful. The RS-28 was initially scheduled to enter service in 2018 with 50 missiles on order. After several technical delays, the Sarmat missile is planned to enter service in this year. The Sarmat was reported to be capable of carrying a higher number and more powerful warheads than those on the R-36M-2. The warhead's re-entry vehicles were characterized as hypersonic and capable of overcoming the most advanced anti-missile defenses. According to information released in 2011, Sarmat was expected to carry 10 warheads with an explosive power of 550 kilotons each. Other sources cited 16 warheads on the Sarmat missile. Russia was planning to begin phasing out R-36M-2 missiles, possibly as early as 2022, but at least some of these ICBMs were certified to remain in service as late as 2027. According to previous reports in the official Russian press, the Makeyev State Rocket Center, based in the city of Mias and previously specialized in the development of submarine-based ballistic missiles, was chosen to serve as the prime contractor in the Sarmat project. Prior to 2014, the Makeyev Center had extensive industrial cooperation with the Ukrainian KB Yuzhno, which developed the R-36M-2 ICBM. The development of the Sarmat missile reportedly started between 2009 and 2011 and coincided with the deterioration of Russia's relations with the West. The decision to build the new generation Satan was not without controversy because large liquid propellant missiles were long considered obsolete. For example, the United States long abandoned liquid propellant in its strategic arsenal in favor of compact solid propellant missiles. The Sarmat program also encountered various problems with the rocket itself and with its manufacturing base, which apparently delayed its introduction into the armaments years behind the originally planned date of 2016. First throw tests in Plesetsk, which only saw the ejection of a dummy missile from its silo, took place around December 2017, or at least a year later than publicly promised. Around the same time, the first launch of the flight-worthy missile was promised before the end of 2018. During Putin's March 1, 2018, address, the video of the Sarmat's throw test was demonstrated for the first time. However, the footage cut to a computer animation immediately after the rocket had been seen leaving its silo in Plesetsk. The Sarmat missile is named after nomadic tribes that roamed the steppes of present-day southern Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan in the early medieval period. If NATO deploys troops at our borders that threaten the very existence of Russia, then we can create such weapons systems that can threaten the existence of Western civilization, the expert summed up. At the beginning of the week, Russia, the United States and NATO held a series of consultations on security guarantees. On January 9 to 10, the issue was discussed in Geneva at meetings with the American side, on January 12 at a meeting of the NATO-Russia Council, and on January 13 at the OSCE site. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that the West promised next week to give written answers to Russian proposals for a treaty with the United States and an agreement with NATO. As the minister stressed, Moscow needs a concrete answer to each article of the documents put forward. Further actions of the Russian side and prospects for resuming negotiations will depend on this. The Kremlin insists on the termination of the bloc's military cooperation with post-Soviet countries, the refusal to create bases on their territory, restrictions on the deployment of strike weapons near the Russian border, the export of American nuclear weapons from Europe, and guarantees of non-expansion of NATO to the east.